Clinging to self is a cause of suffering. The more self-centered you are, the more you will suffer.
To be yourself. What is yourself? What is self? It's a contemplation. The question is more important than the answer. Self is the dynamic. It's not a thing. In the same way that motion is a dynamic, motion is not a thing. The bicycle goes from A to B. The movement of the bicycle is not a thing. It's a process of going. It's an object undergoing change from one point in space to another point in space, and covering a whole bunch of infinitely divisible points in space. And similarly, a self is a focal point of multiple mental things, physical things. It's a process that begins at birth and ends at death. It's related to a body. It's related to an identity. So you absorb a whole bunch of things, and through all the things that you were taught, and your personal ups and downs and experiences and emotions and relationships and problems and so on, and adventures, you come up with a sense of somebody experiencing something. In other words, the self could be the focal point for multiple activity, one self for multiple activity. Lohbado, undergoing a trajectory from birth to death, going through dramatic changes. The Lohbado at 60 years old is dramatically different than the Lohbado at 6 years old. You look at photographs, and you wouldn't even know that it was the same person. If you compare one photograph taken every 10 years, sometimes you really have to look closely to see the resemblance. That's why in many epics, when the hero is gone for so long and comes home and is not recognized by family members or friends, he has to produce a sign to prove that it is in fact still the same self that left. And I believe in the Odyssey it is. I have to check, but he shows a scar or a tattoo or some kind of mark on the skin that only his wife would know. So that way his wife knows for sure it's still him, because he's undergone so many changes during the Trojan War and all the different trials and adventures as he made his Odyssey home. So there you have it. Self is a dynamic or process. Many things happening. A lot of change.
You don't see a motion. You see a bicycle in motion. With the self, you don't see a self. You see an individual undergoing various changes and experiences.